Unleash Your Focus, The Power of Single-Minded Determination, written and published by Sonic Digest. In a world teeming with endless options and the relentless hum of modern life, the true power of focus can feel like a rare commodity, one that's hard to cultivate and even harder to maintain. Yet, hidden within the clutter of distractions, there lies a force so potent it can turn ambition into reality, dreams into tangible achievements. It's not just a mental skill or a temporary burst of energy, it's a dynamic state of being that shifts the very way you approach the world. The art of single-minded determination goes beyond willpower. It's not about pushing harder or squeezing out every ounce of effort from every moment. Instead, it's about choosing a path, committing to it with unwavering resolve, and letting the rest fall away. When you master this art, life begins to reveal its secrets. Tasks become purposeful, efforts converge into meaningful progress, and achievements no longer feel out of reach, but rather like a natural outcome of focused intent. But how do you find this state of relentless focus? How do you shield your mind from the constant pull of the irrelevant, the alluring noise that begs for attention and dissipates energy? The answer lies not in the loud, celebratory moments, but in the silent spaces where dedication is honed, where attention is sharpened, and where resilience is forged. It's found in the seemingly small decisions made day after day that create a momentum stronger than any fleeting motivation. The path of single-minded determination requires more than just understanding. It demands an ongoing commitment to one goal, one pursuit. It calls for a recalibration of your attention, an unyielding commitment to clarity, and a willingness to strip away what holds you back. It asks you to see through the illusion of multitasking and recognize the real value of channeling your energy into a singular pursuit. It challenges you to cultivate patience as progress unfolds, not in leaps, but in calculated, purposeful steps. Within these pages, the journey is not just about what to do, but about how to think, feel, and act with an unrelenting sense of purpose. It's about building a mindset so robust that setbacks become the fuel for growth, and victories are the natural result of consistent dedication. Because when you learn to unlock the power of single-minded determination, you tap into the true essence of your potential, an essence that, once unleashed, becomes unstoppable. Chapter 1. The Magnetism of an Unwavering Goal. There is a subtle yet undeniable power in setting sights on one purpose and nurturing that pursuit with unwavering commitment. This is not the kind of focus that is easily swayed by the whims of the moment or distracted by the allure of the latest trend. Instead, it is a force so magnetic that it not only commands attention, but also filters the noise that would otherwise dilute effort. When an individual has a single, clear aim, the world around them begins to align with that vision in ways that seem almost serendipitous. Opportunities that resonate with the goal seem to present themselves more frequently, while distractions that do not serve the purpose become inconsequential, fading into the background. The power of an unwavering goal is found in its ability to streamline thought and action. When every decision, every action, and every thought is anchored in a single objective, clarity emerges with an intensity that transforms even the most challenging circumstances into manageable parts. The mind, acting as both an architect and a guardian, channels its energy into the pursuit, fostering a resilience that only those with a singular focus can comprehend. This becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The more determined the pursuit, the clearer the pathway becomes, and the more each step forward feels like an inevitable and natural part of the journey. It is in the moments of choice, when options pull the mind in different directions, that the magnetism of a clear goal is most profound. It whispers, urging you to stay true to your course, reminding you of the impact that emerges from disciplined persistence. When desire is channeled with purpose, it generates a force that outmatches fleeting motivation or reactive energy. Goals that resonate deeply are no longer just aspirations. They become convictions that stand firm in the face of doubt and uncertainty. This kind of desire grows not from a simple wish for accomplishment, but from a profound understanding of what that achievement means and the transformation it sparks within. As determination builds, so too does a sense of purpose that transcends surface-level ambitions. It becomes an internal compass, an unerring guide that directs not just actions, but the way one perceives challenges and successes alike. Life, which often seems chaotic and uncertain, becomes a canvas on which progress is painted with intentional strokes. Decisions become weighted, not by urgency or immediate gratification, but by how well they contribute to a singular vision. The magnetic quality of an unwavering goal does more than inspire. It shifts priorities, alters habits, and molds a person into someone who understands that sacrifices are not setbacks, but steps toward an invaluable prize. Within this space of singular purpose, the idea of failure takes on a new hue. Rather than being an end or a signal to abandon hope, it serves as part of the landscape, an unwelcome yet necessary companion that adds depth and insight to the journey. The desire for success, rooted in clarity, reshapes the perception of obstacles. What once seemed insurmountable is now seen as a challenge to learn from, an essential piece of the pursuit that tests the strength of commitment and reaffirms the choice to press forward. This pull of singular purpose, once established, does more than guide, it drives. It becomes an invisible thread that weaves through the fabric of every action and every thought. It propels individuals not just toward their goals, but toward an understanding of themselves, revealing capabilities and inner fortitude previously unseen. This unrelenting focus becomes an anchor in turbulent seas, a beacon when the path is dim, and an assurance that when one commits wholeheartedly to a goal, the rest falls into place, guided by the powerful force of purpose. Chapter 2. The Noise of Many Roads. In a world brimming with paths, choices, and alternatives, the challenge lies not in the lack of direction, but in the overwhelming abundance of them. Every day, countless voices compete for attention, each one promising progress, fulfillment, or success. This cacophony is more than just an annoyance. It is a profound force that siphons away focus and fragments effort. Distractions do not always appear as obvious hindrances. Sometimes they present themselves as opportunities, shiny, enticing prospects that masquerade as essential stepping stones, pulling attention away from the singular pursuit that truly matters. The allure of a new path often comes dressed in the language of growth and expansion. The temptation to shift gears, to pursue what seems to be an immediate chance for progress, is powerful. These detours are not necessarily failures, they are clever illusions. They paint a picture of progress, tempting the mind to believe that the act of doing something, even if it strays from the original vision, is inherently valuable. Yet, the energy and time spent exploring these alternate roads dilute the impact of the primary objective. They sow seeds of indecision and create a landscape of fractured intentions, where half-hearted efforts scatter rather than converge. One of the most insidious aspects of divided attention is that it fosters a cycle of perpetual busyness. Being busy, however, is not synonymous with being productive. The mind can become a juggler, flipping from one task to another, never pausing long enough to let any one action take root. The pursuit of many roads leads to a kind of motion that is devoid of purpose, a relentless activity that leaves no lasting imprint. Each new direction can feel promising in the moment, but the true cost becomes evident when the cumulative effect is an inability to make meaningful progress toward any singular goal. This scattered approach not only depletes energy, but also erodes confidence. When the mind is engaged in a constant shuffle between tasks and interests, it becomes harder to maintain a clear vision. The satisfaction that comes from accomplishing something substantial is replaced by the fleeting satisfaction of checking items off a list. There is a subtle but powerful shift from purpose-driven action to reactive behavior. Instead of steering life in a chosen direction, one is at the mercy of external stimuli, responding to every distraction and new idea with equal urgency. The impact of divided attention extends beyond the immediate moment. It transforms the brain's ability to focus into a battleground of competing demands, where true concentration becomes a scarce commodity. The cognitive cost of switching between tasks is significant, leading to diminished mental acuity and reduced capacity for complex problem-solving. Over time, this constant shift can weaken the mind's ability to engage deeply with a singular pursuit. What once felt like a clear path now appears clouded, surrounded by a fog of choices that threaten to drown out the original vision. Overcoming the noise of many roads requires more than just an awareness of distractions. It demands a deliberate practice of clarity. It calls for the ability to recognize when a path is truly aligned with one's purpose or when it is simply an enticing diversion. This practice involves honing the ability to say no, not just to the obvious, but to the subtle temptations that pull attention away from what is meaningful. It is in this act of rejection that strength is found. The capacity to choose the singular path, even when surrounded by a symphony of options, is where real progress resides. The impact of such discipline is transformative. When the mind focuses on one goal, it harnesses all its energy toward that pursuit, unimpeded by the lure of competing interests. Each step taken feels more significant, and the journey becomes less about movement for its own sake and more about a series of calculated, purposeful actions. The value of sustained, focused effort compounds over time, creating an accumulation of progress that cannot be achieved by scattered attention. It is in this space of unwavering focus that clarity, growth, and true achievement take root. Chapter 3. A fire that burns through doubt. Passion is more than just a fleeting feeling. It is the undercurrent that drives action, fuels perseverance, and ignites the kind of focus that can transform a simple goal into an unyielding pursuit. At its core, passion is the spark that lights the fire, but it is the sustained flame that provides the warmth and energy needed to face every challenge and overcome every obstacle. It is the fuel that empowers one to move forward when progress seems impossible and to rise again when setbacks threaten to extinguish hope. The power of passion is evident when it becomes the anchor that keeps a person grounded in their purpose. It is what turns a vision into an unrelenting force, unwavering even in the face of uncertainty and adversity. When passion is present, it transforms ordinary tasks into meaningful rituals, imbuing them with significance that goes beyond mere duty. It enables the mind to see beyond immediate difficulties and grasp the greater picture, where small sacrifices lead to the eventual realization of long-term goals. Yet, nurturing this fire is not without its challenges. There are moments when doubt creeps in, thin and insidious, whispering that the path is too difficult or that the effort is not worth it. It can take the form of internal resistance, masked as rational questions, or the seductive comfort of complacency. The most dangerous doubt is not the one that shouts in moments of crisis, but the subtle, persistent doubt that lingers quietly in the background, shifting the perspective from possibility to limitation. The key to keeping the flame of passion alive lies in acknowledging that doubt is not the enemy, but rather an inevitable part of the journey. Every great endeavor, every story of success, has been accompanied by its share of skepticism and uncertainty. It is how one responds to these doubts that separates those who achieve their aspirations from those who fall short. The mind that chooses to confront doubt head-on, transforming it into an opportunity for reinforcement, finds that the fire only grows stronger with time. To keep the flame burning, it is essential to fuel it with continuous reminders of purpose and the reasons why the pursuit began. This can take the form of revisiting moments of inspiration, seeking out sources of motivation, or connecting with mentors and individuals who embody the same determination. Surrounding oneself with those who share a similar mindset creates an environment where passion is not just maintained but magnified. It becomes a collective force, a shared flame that illuminates the way through challenging times. Adversity has a way of testing passion like no other force. When faced with obstacles, the desire to give up can become overwhelming. Yet, in those moments, it is passion that acts as a catalyst for resilience. It pushes the mind beyond its perceived limits and reinvigorates determination with renewed vigor. The greatest breakthroughs often come when there is no more room for doubt, when passion overrides hesitation and pushes one forward with a fierce intensity that defies reason. Practicality is essential to channeling passion into sustained focus. This means setting clear intentions and breaking them down into actionable steps, maintaining a disciplined approach to progress, and embracing both small victories and setbacks as part of the process. Each step forward, no matter how minor, is a testament to the fire that drives progress. The discipline of repetition solidifies commitment and reinforces the value of what is being pursued. In the moments of doubt, it is not just passion, but the rhythmic, unwavering practice that acts as a steady hand, guiding the pursuit forward. True passion thrives on progress, however incremental. It is nurtured when each obstacle faced and conquered serves as proof that the goal is achievable, even in the face of challenges that test the limits of endurance. Passion that withstands adversity becomes an unbreakable bond, connecting the individual to their vision with an intensity that cannot be undone. When passion becomes this kind of force, it is not merely an emotional high, but a deliberate, enduring choice. An act of will that chooses to remain engaged and committed, regardless of what doubts may emerge. Chapter 4. The Silent Strength of Simplicity. In a world where the noise of endless demands and opportunities can feel overwhelming, simplicity emerges as an often overlooked but profoundly powerful force. It is not the absence of action, but the deliberate removal of clutter that opens the path to true productivity and fulfillment. Simplifying one's focus does not mean diminishing ambition or surrendering to mediocrity. Rather, it is an intentional act of streamlining, refining, and honing efforts so that every action aligns with the singular goal that matters most. To master the art of doing less to achieve more, one must first recognize the distractions that masquerade as necessities. These distractions can be seductive, often convincing us that multitasking, excessive commitments, or a wide array of options lead to progress. However, true progress lies in the clarity and focus that come from paring down to the essentials. It is in this space that the quiet force of simplicity reveals its potential. When we shed the non-essential, we create room for the profound, space where deep work can flourish and where the mind can engage fully with what is important. The practice of simplifying begins with the conscious decision to step away from the constant lure of complexity. It means evaluating commitments, re-evaluating routines, and acknowledging that every additional task or obligation diverts energy from what truly matters. It is not an abandonment of ambition, it is a recalibration. Simplicity enables a clearer vision, one where the mind can focus not just on the urgent but on the significant. It allows for a deeper engagement with one's work, cultivating a quality of output that is immeasurably more valuable than the quantity of actions spread thin. True simplicity also rests in the understanding that not everything deserves the same level of attention. In fact, some of the most transformative progress comes not from doing more, but from prioritizing better. It is the ability to determine which tasks contribute meaningfully to long-term goals and which are mere noise that drains energy and attention. This requires discernment, the courage to say no, and the insight to know which paths will lead to sustainable growth rather than momentary gains. The silent strength of simplicity is most powerful in times of chaos and high demand. It is the anchor that holds steady when the tide rises with demands and pressure. Those who have embraced this principle understand that it is not the whirlwind of activity that defines success, but the ability to stay rooted and focused, choosing each step with purpose. This principle can be seen in the stories of those who have excelled by narrowing their focus, honing their skills, and saying no to countless opportunities that would dilute their impact. Embracing simplicity requires a shift in perspective, one that goes against the grain of modern norms that equate busyness with productivity. Yet, those who truly master their craft understand that the most powerful moments come not from the cacophony of many efforts, but from the concentrated energy of one well-chosen task. When focus is intentional and energy is directed with precision, the results are profound. It is in this space of simplicity that real growth is not just possible, but inevitable. To refine this mindset, it is essential to develop habits that support simplicity. These habits can be as simple as starting each day with a clear intention or limiting the number of tasks undertaken at any given time. It is the discipline to recognize when enough is enough and to be content with progress that aligns with purpose, not just with output. Simplifying priorities also means creating a routine that fosters a sense of control and alignment with one's goals. The smallest adjustments, such as limiting meetings or dedicating blocks of uninterrupted time to critical projects, can lead to a deeper sense of satisfaction and achievement. True mastery of simplicity comes from the consistent practice of doing less with more intention. It is not about reducing to the point of scarcity, but finding the balance where energy is maximized, focus is sharpened, and achievements are meaningful. With simplicity, strength is found not in how much is accomplished, but in how precisely and deeply each chosen action contributes to the larger vision. It is the quiet yet mighty force that shifts one's approach from a scattered pursuit of many things to the strategic pursuit of one essential thing, creating a legacy of clarity and purpose. Chapter 5. The Unseen Forces of Commitment. Commitment is more than an occasional choice. It is an enduring force that, when nurtured, becomes an invisible current driving progress and achievement. The journey toward any significant goal often involves moments of doubt, fluctuating enthusiasm, and the temptation to take shortcuts. Yet, it is the unseen force of commitment, rooted in consistent action and a deep trust in the process, that carries one past these obstacles. It is the bedrock upon which lasting change is built, a quiet but unwavering presence that pushes one forward when motivation wanes. Developing a relationship with commitment begins with acknowledging that it is not always glamorous or dramatic. Commitment thrives in the routine, in the small choices made day after day, in showing up when the excitement has faded and the rewards are not immediately visible. It is in these moments that the real power of commitment reveals itself, not in grand gestures or sudden bursts of effort, but in the daily discipline of doing what must be done, even when enthusiasm has left the room. The process of building commitment starts by cultivating habits that align with long-term goals. These habits are not formed overnight. They are born of repeated actions that become second nature. When consistency becomes a part of one's identity, it transforms from an obligation into an integral part of one's purpose. Trusting the process becomes easier when one sees how each small effort, though imperceptible in the moment, compounds to create meaningful results over time. This is where the subtle momentum of persistent effort takes hold. Like a small, steady flame that refuses to be extinguished, consistent action generates energy that cannot be measured by immediate outcomes, but becomes undeniable in the long run. Persistent effort, even when it appears to yield minimal progress, creates an underlying momentum that propels forward growth. This momentum can be likened to the movement of a glacier. The surface seems still, yet beneath it, an immense force is at work, slowly shaping the landscape. The power of persistent action lies not just in the visible outcomes, but in the inner transformation it fosters, strengthening willpower, sharpening focus, and developing resilience. The unseen forces of commitment are reinforced when setbacks and failures are met, not with despair, but with resolve. It is during these times that the true character of commitment is tested. The ability to move forward in the face of adversity, to keep going when the path is unclear, and to adapt when plans change, is what separates those who achieve from those who abandon their journey. Each moment of resistance and every choice to stay committed, even when success is not guaranteed, adds to an inner reservoir of strength that grows imperceptibly but powerfully over time. Building trust in the process requires patience and faith. Those who have experienced true progress understand that the results of their effort are not always immediate. They know that trust comes from seeing how repeated, purposeful action, day after day, creates a foundation solid enough to support their aspirations. They commit to their goals not because of instant gratification, but because they have come to recognize that enduring results are the product of time-tested consistency. Commitment is an internal state that cannot be borrowed or replicated. It must be cultivated personally. It starts with the commitment to one's vision and grows as small steps transform into larger strides. The power of this force is often overlooked, as it does not produce the loud, dramatic moments that capture attention, but its effects are profound and lasting, solidifying the path toward achieving long-term aspirations and redefining what it means to be unwavering. When challenges arise, those who are committed draw from the strength of their unwavering dedication, remembering why they began, and trusting that each action, no matter how small, contributes to the momentum that will eventually carry them across the finish line. This is not a fleeting energy, but an enduring force that, once established, becomes an ally that works in the background, invisible yet undeniable. The unseen forces of commitment make it possible to turn aspirations into achievements and to transform fleeting moments of effort into a lasting legacy. Chapter 6. The Shadows of the Mind. The mind is a labyrinth of thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, and within its corridors, both light and shadow coexist. The shadows of the mind are often the most insidious barriers to progress, hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and conditioned thinking. While the conscious mind may focus on aspirations and ambitions, the subconscious operates in the background, subtly shaping actions and reactions in ways that may seem inexplicable. It is here, in the quiet corners of awareness, that inner resistance takes hold, often appearing as self-doubt, procrastination, or the silent conviction that success is out of reach. Recognizing these subtle forms of resistance is the first step in dismantling them. Inner resistance is not always loud. It can be as quiet as a whisper, manifesting as a sudden sense of overwhelm or an almost imperceptible hesitation when faced with an important decision. Often it comes cloaked as practicality or realism, convincing us that our ambitions are unattainable. It can be disguised as perfectionism, where the relentless pursuit of flawlessness keeps one paralyzed, forever waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. The shadows can take shape as negative self-talk, chipping away at confidence and feeding on past failures, real or imagined, creating a cycle that feeds itself and prevents forward movement. Breaking through these mental blocks requires more than willpower. It demands a confrontation with the parts of the mind that operate unconsciously. The moment of recognition is crucial, where one becomes aware of the internal dialogue that reinforces limitations. It is not enough to acknowledge resistance. It must be understood. Why does it exist? What is the mind trying to protect from? The barriers that hold us back are often formed from past experiences, early influences, or beliefs that no longer serve us. They are ingrained patterns of thinking that can be reprogrammed by recognizing their origin and purpose. Transforming mental blocks into stepping stones begins with changing the relationship with them. Rather than seeing them as immovable objects, they must be seen as signals pointing to areas in need of growth. This perspective shift invites a sense of curiosity and exploration, transforming the inner dialogue from one of judgment to one of inquiry. Questions like, "What is this fear telling me?" or "What does this resistance want to protect?" can lead to insights that empower rather than hinder. One effective way to challenge mental barriers is to practice mindful observation. This practice involves observing thoughts without judgment, allowing them to rise and fall without holding onto them or pushing them away. The more one becomes aware of the thoughts that trigger resistance, the easier it becomes to disrupt the cycle. Awareness makes it possible to identify the triggers and patterns that activate these mental blocks, laying the groundwork for change. Another approach is to redefine failure and redefine success. The mind, influenced by past experiences, may automatically draw associations between risk and failure, projecting negative outcomes before the action even begins. In truth, failure is rarely a definitive end. It is a part of the process, a necessary element in the pursuit of mastery and growth. Success, on the other hand, is not a distant final destination, but a continuous practice of persistence and learning. Shifting focus from fearing failure to embracing the lessons it brings is a crucial step in turning mental blocks into opportunities for growth. The power of visualization is another tool to face the shadows of the mind. By mentally rehearsing success, one can begin to replace the internal images of doubt and failure with those of accomplishment. This practice reinforces the belief that progress is not only possible, but already in motion. Over time, the subconscious mind begins to accept these new patterns, creating a stronger, more confident foundation for action. The path to overcoming inner resistance and transforming mental blocks requires patience and a willingness to engage in the hard work of inner exploration. It demands a shift from reacting to the shadows with fear or avoidance to meeting them with understanding and intention. When this happens, the mind begins to shift from being an obstacle to being an ally, revealing not only the pathways forward, but also the strength and resilience that was always within reach. Chapter 7. The Symphony of Laser Precision. Intentional living is an art, one where each day is orchestrated with the discipline and clarity of a finely tuned symphony. In this state, every habit, action, and decision serves a purpose, contributing to a greater, unified goal. It's the difference between drifting through life, reacting to circumstances as they arise, and navigating life with unwavering direction. To achieve this kind of focused living, the foundation must be built on habits that don't just serve the moment, but are in harmony with long-term aspirations. Creating habits that support intentional living starts with identifying what truly matters. It's not enough to fill the day with a list of tasks. Instead, Those tasks must be chosen and approached with discernment. Each action should align with a core mission, fueling progress and drawing a clear line between what is essential and what is expendable. The act of prioritizing tasks based on their contribution to a larger purpose transforms daily routines from mechanical obligations into meaningful practices. This conscious selection empowers individuals to step out of the whirlwind of busyness and into the realm of purposeful action. The process of developing such habits requires discipline, which is the silent guardian of focus. Discipline ensures that distractions are minimized and that choices remain consistent with one's principles. But discipline alone is not enough. True, sustained focus comes from coupling it with an understanding of the deeper reasons behind one's commitments. When people connect their actions to values, passions, and desired outcomes, they tap into an inner drive that sustains them through challenges and setbacks. Without this internal anchor, habits become rigid routines devoid of soul, easily derailed by obstacles. There is a rhythm to intentional living that must be learned and nurtured. It requires a conscious effort to quiet the noise, whether it be the lure of social media, the clamor of other people's expectations, or the relentless pressure of the modern world. To create a lifestyle built on singular focus, one must cultivate an awareness that filters out external interference and strengthens internal clarity. Simple rituals like morning reflections or evening reviews help maintain this sense of purpose. These practices provide space for recalibration, ensuring that the path taken remains aligned with the overarching vision. Choosing to live with precision means taking a proactive stance on how time is spent. The hours of the day, like notes in a symphony, must be played with intention. It's not just about squeezing more tasks into the day, but understanding the value of each note, each moment. Whether it is setting boundaries to protect time for deep work, deciding to say no to opportunities that don't fit into the master plan, or selecting moments to pause and reflect, every move must be deliberate. This conscious structuring ensures that time is invested, not spent. Building habits that support this level of precision also requires a strategy for handling moments of doubt and the inevitable distractions that will come. A life of singular focus does not mean the absence of challenges or temptations. On the contrary, it means knowing how to return to center when the mind begins to waver. Techniques such as mindfulness, meditation, or even brief periods of silence can recalibrate the mind, sharpening focus and reinvigorating commitment to the tasks at hand. Intentional living thrives on the understanding that simplicity is powerful. When the mind is cluttered, energy becomes scattered and productivity wanes. To foster a life of precision, simplifying not only one's physical surroundings but also mental processes is essential. This could mean decluttering schedules, streamlining decision-making, or establishing a set of guiding principles that inform choices and actions. The clearer the path, the easier it is to maintain a steady course, minimizing the noise that often drowns out meaningful progress. Crafting a lifestyle aligned with singular focus involves conscious practice and a commitment to growth. It's about building resilience against the urge to multitask, resisting the temptation of short-term rewards, and developing the ability to sustain effort over the long haul. It means learning to embrace solitude as a space for growth rather than something to be feared, and finding fulfillment in the journey as much as in the destination. The result of living with such precision is a life composed of purposeful moments, each contributing to a symphony of meaningful achievements. It's a lifestyle where each habit, each decision, and each action resonates with intent, creating a deep and enduring sense of fulfillment. Through steady, disciplined living, focus becomes second nature, and the pursuit of what truly matters becomes the very fabric of existence. Chapter 8. The Freedom of Saying No. In a world that demands constant attention, saying no can be an act of profound self-respect and strength. It is the practice of recognizing that every commitment carries weight, and that by saying yes to something, we are inherently saying no to other possibilities. The freedom that comes from knowing when to decline is the cornerstone of maintaining focus on what truly matters. Boundaries, when set with clarity and intention, preserve the energy and resources needed to pursue what aligns with one's core values and long-term goals. True empowerment lies in understanding that saying no is not a rejection of others. It is an affirmation of oneself. People who master this art cultivate the discipline to act in alignment with their priorities rather than being swept up by the demands and expectations of others. They recognize that each yes potentially scatters their focus, making them vulnerable to the overwhelm of multitasking and diluted attention. A simple refusal can be a powerful redirection of energy back to what is essential, a practice of reclaiming control over one's time and attention. Selective attention requires discernment. It is the practice of being discerning with how time is allocated and choosing engagements that nourish, inspire, or contribute to the overarching purpose. This isn't always an easy path. Saying no may be met with resistance, confusion, or disappointment from others. But those who truly embrace this freedom know that compromise to please everyone dilutes the quality of their contributions. By maintaining boundaries, they create a space where what is chosen is given full focus and dedication, leading to higher quality results and more meaningful connections. The power of saying no also stems from the clarity that comes with knowing one's mission. A life led by purpose is inherently selective. It understands that not everything can fit into the vision one holds for oneself. When the purpose is clear, the need to please or appease fades in importance. Each choice is weighed against the greater vision, and decisions are made based on whether they propel that vision forward or distract from it. It is this unwavering commitment to purpose that turns rejection into an act of refinement, filtering out the noise and ensuring that only the most relevant opportunities are embraced. This practice of selective attention also nurtures a deep sense of self-trust. It is an affirmation that one knows their worth and has the courage to prioritize what deserves their attention. People who live with clear boundaries demonstrate respect for their time, energy, and values, fostering not only productivity but also personal integrity. Over time, this integrity enhances one's reputation as people learn to respect those who maintain their standards, who are firm in their convictions, and who show that their time is precious. Letting go of what doesn't serve the mission requires an internal shift that challenges the habitual urge to seek approval or to avoid discomfort. This shift is often supported by the practice of mindfulness and the ability to pause and reflect before responding to demands. In moments of decision, the question should be, does this align with where I'm headed? If it doesn't, the answer should be a resolute no. Over time, this becomes second nature. What was once difficult to communicate becomes a clear, respectful statement of intention. This new way of engaging with the world breeds respect, both for oneself and from others. The discipline of saying no extends beyond individual choices to encompass how one interacts in various areas of life, from work to social engagements. It is found in choosing not to overextend oneself with unnecessary obligations, in resisting the temptation of constant availability, and in standing firm against opportunities that may sound appealing but don't align with the deeper goals. This boundary setting is essential for the preservation of mental and emotional resources, which are required to maintain passion and motivation. The freedom that comes from saying no fosters resilience and self-sufficiency. It is the ability to walk away from situations and commitments that no longer serve growth or joy, understanding that by releasing what does not contribute, one makes space for what does. This act of letting go clears the path for new opportunities that resonate with true purpose, ensuring that each step taken is toward a more aligned, authentic life. Chapter 9. The momentum of one step forward. The path to success is often paved not with grand gestures or immediate transformations, but with a series of small, deliberate actions that build on one another. It is easy to be drawn into the allure of dramatic leaps, the instant gratification that comes with sudden changes. Yet, true progress is rooted in the discipline of consistent, incremental steps. Each step, no matter how small, carries within it the seed of growth and the potential for transformation. The power of one step forward lies in its simplicity and its ability to build momentum, creating a rhythm that propels us forward even when obstacles arise. The essence of incremental progress is found in its quiet resilience. It doesn't demand sweeping changes overnight or immediate results. Instead, it teaches patience and persistence. People who understand this principle recognize that progress is not linear. It often meanders and takes unexpected turns. The willingness to embrace the slow and steady path is what differentiates those who achieve lasting success from those who burn out. Each step forward, however minor, is a declaration of commitment to growth, an unyielding reminder that movement, no matter how small, is still movement. It is essential to honor and celebrate these small victories, for they serve as powerful affirmations of progress. Each completed task, each minor breakthrough, holds significance. Acknowledging these moments creates a positive feedback loop that sustains motivation. It cultivates a mindset where victories are cherished, not just for the outcome, but for the effort and discipline that went into them. This celebration is not about arrogance or self-congratulation. It is an acknowledgement of effort, a moment to recognize that persistence is paying off. Finding joy in these small wins fosters resilience and refuels determination. When the road ahead feels long and uncertain, looking back at the progress made, however gradual, can reignite a sense of purpose. It reminds us that progress compounds. The collection of small steps over time creates significant change. This compound effect strengthens willpower and encourages an attitude of relentless forward motion, regardless of how daunting the next step may seem. Every great achievement begins with the decision to take one step forward, even when doubt or fear whispers otherwise. It is in choosing to act, to move forward, that momentum begins. It's not the magnitude of the step that matters, it's the willingness to take it. Progress is the result of action repeated day after day, and it builds not just momentum, but character. Those who embrace this practice understand that waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. They know that action breeds clarity, and that understanding grows through doing, not through endless contemplation. The journey of growth is often interrupted by moments of frustration or stagnation. During these times, it is crucial to remember that small, consistent actions are the cornerstone of breakthroughs. The path to mastery or achievement is rarely free from setbacks, but the discipline to keep moving, even at a slower pace, creates an unbreakable cycle of forward movement. It is a reminder that no step taken in pursuit of a goal is ever wasted, even if the results are not immediately visible. The progress that matters most is not always seen in grand victories, but in the quiet moments when we push forward despite the temptation to stop. Building a habit of taking one step at a time means transforming the mind to see challenges as opportunities for growth. Small, consistent actions reduce the feeling of overwhelm and make larger goals more approachable. They break down the monumental into manageable, actionable pieces, allowing us to tackle one part at a time with focus and intention. Over time, these small, consistent actions create a foundation that supports bigger, more ambitious efforts. As momentum builds, tasks that once felt insurmountable become routine, shifting the focus from the obstacles ahead to the ongoing journey of progress. The beauty of incremental progress lies in its universality. It is not reserved for monumental achievements. It is available in every aspect of life, from personal development and career growth to building relationships and cultivating healthy habits. It is an enduring practice that teaches us to value process over perfection and to see every small step as a necessary part of the whole. The true superpower lies in this understanding that the choice to move forward, even a little, is what ultimately carries us to our most ambitious goals. Chapter 10. The Horizon of Limitless Potential. The potential within every individual is as vast and uncharted as the horizon itself. The key to unlocking this limitless power lies in the focus and intent we bring to our pursuits. Focus acts as the guiding light, steering the mind away from distractions and toward what truly matters. It creates a state of deep engagement, where creativity is no longer a fleeting moment, but a constant companion. When the mind is singularly directed, the boundaries of what is possible expand, and new ways of thinking emerge that once seemed unreachable. Harnessing this type of focused energy can transform ordinary thoughts into extraordinary ideas. The process of sustained concentration allows for a deeper exploration of concepts, fostering insights that are innovative and unique. This is where the raw potential of creativity emerges, not from scattered attention, but from the disciplined effort of the mind immersing itself in one pursuit. The act of honing one's focus creates an environment where imagination can thrive, producing solutions that break away from the conventional and open up new paths for growth. The discipline of focus is not simply about paying attention. It is about cultivating an unwavering commitment to a chosen path. In the age of constant distraction, the ability to stay engaged with one task is a formidable skill. Yet, it is within this focused pursuit that breakthroughs are achieved. True progress requires leaning into that one great pursuit with full dedication, often in the face of uncertainty or resistance. It means recognizing that the greatest achievements stem from the courage to follow a singular vision, even when the outcome is unknown. The relentless pursuit of a singular goal creates a powerful momentum that pushes the boundaries of what we consider possible. Leaning into one major pursuit, instead of dividing energy across numerous interests, builds a sense of purpose and direction. The clarity gained from concentrating on a single objective nurtures resilience, as the individual becomes more adept at navigating setbacks and obstacles. This focus nurtures growth and allows the mind to experiment and explore without the fear of failure dominating each step. It builds the confidence needed to take risks, fostering an environment where learning and innovation coexist. The path is rarely free from challenges, but it is precisely within these challenges that the mind finds new perspectives, develops stronger solutions, and sharpens its creative edge. To break barriers and move beyond self-imposed limits, one must learn to guard their attention with diligence. This is not only a matter of what to focus on, but also what to exclude. The pursuit of a singular goal requires saying no to countless other temptations and diversions that may promise instant gratification but dilute the power of deep work. The discipline to maintain this focus helps in building a state of flow, where time seems to stretch and the mind is operating at its highest level. This state amplifies the ability to see connections between seemingly unrelated ideas and brings forth innovations that would otherwise be unseen. True creativity and innovation are birthed from an intense, sustained dedication to one pursuit. It is within the dedication to a singular goal that new worlds are discovered, both externally and internally. Pioneers and trailblazers understand that to reach the horizon of limitless potential, they must be willing to step into the unknown, driven not by the desire for approval or fear of failure, but by the passion that propels them forward. This passion becomes the fuel for overcoming the roadblocks that litter the path, transforming each obstacle into an opportunity for growth, and each setback into a lesson learned. As the pursuit deepens, the mind finds novel approaches and hidden truths that push beyond conventional thought. When focus is sharpened to such a degree, it serves as a conduit for creative insights that redefine what is achievable. The constraints that once seemed imposing melt away as one develops the confidence and mental flexibility to forge new paths. In this state, the horizon shifts from a distant aspiration to a present reality that is continuously expanding as new possibilities emerge. It is through this unwavering dedication to one great pursuit that individuals break through barriers, those imposed by external circumstances and those they place on themselves. The journey requires patience, the resilience to overcome moments of doubt, and the ability to stay committed when the immediate results are not visible. Yet, this is what lays the foundation for innovation that transcends limitations, allowing new achievements to blossom and the mind to experience its truest potential. Chapter 11. The Echo of Purpose Fulfilled. The journey of unwavering determination often starts with an intangible feeling, an inner call that pushes an individual toward something greater than themselves. It is in the quiet moments of doubt, when the path seems steep and the goal distant, that the most profound growth occurs. True progress is born not from moments of ease, but from the trials and tribulations that test resolve and strengthen character. It is in the act of persevering despite obstacles that the seeds of fulfillment are sown. Determination is a force that shapes the individual, forging habits and mindsets that turn dreams into reality. This commitment creates a narrative of resilience, one that becomes an echo resonating long after the initial goals are reached. As the journey unfolds, it reveals a deeper truth. The process is as transformative as the outcome. The relentless pursuit of a purpose imbues every step with meaning, molding a person into someone who carries within them a sense of quiet strength. This becomes evident in the way they navigate challenges, no longer seeing them as insurmountable, but as milestones that fuel further progress. Reflecting on such a journey, it becomes clear that purpose is not simply an end goal, but a continuous force that shapes decisions, influences actions, and drives intentions. The lasting impact of a life centered on true priorities is seen in how it influences not just the individual, but the world around them. People who have lived with purpose become beacons of inspiration, embodying the principles they hold dear. Their lives become a testament to the fact that the pursuit of what truly matters leaves an indelible mark, one that extends far beyond achievements and accolades. Purpose is the compass that guides choices and aligns actions with values. When one is firmly rooted in their purpose, even in moments of uncertainty or when faced with diverging paths, they remain anchored. The clarity gained from having a true north allows for greater courage, the kind that pushes through setbacks and silences the voices of doubt. The pursuit of purpose nurtures self-awareness, pushing individuals to confront their deepest fears and to recognize the limiting beliefs that may have held them back. Over time, it cultivates a strong sense of identity, one forged not by fleeting trends or external validation, but by the quiet, powerful realization of one's true self. Lives centered on true priorities often transcend the pursuit of personal success and reach into the realm of collective impact. The impact of such a life ripples outwards, influencing communities, relationships, and future generations. When actions are driven by authentic purpose, they carry the energy of conviction and passion. This energy is contagious. It empowers others to reflect on their own journeys, inspiring them to move beyond superficial goals and to embrace their own deeper callings. The influence of such a life leaves a legacy that inspires others not just to achieve, but to live meaningfully, contributing to the betterment of all. A life lived with unwavering determination and centered on true priorities brings a form of fulfillment that is unique and enduring. It is not measured in the fleeting applause of others or in the accumulation of material wealth, but in the quiet satisfaction of knowing that one has lived true to themselves. The joy that accompanies such fulfillment is not momentary. It endures through the highs and lows, as it is rooted in the understanding that the pursuit itself has added depth to life. This kind of fulfillment is mirrored in the way one carries themselves, in the way they approach new challenges and help others along their path. Those who have embraced this journey often find that fulfillment is more than a destination. It is the process of living in alignment with values, of growing with purpose, and of choosing to remain steadfast, even when the road is rough. It is the deep contentment that arises when a life, marked by determination and focus on what truly matters, echoes through the soul. This echo reverberates through every aspect of their existence, creating a resonance that inspires those around them and leaves a mark that outlasts any single achievement. Chapter 12. The Legacy of Intentional Living. Intentional living is a practice that leaves a lasting imprint on the world. It is not just the result of singular actions, but the culmination of decisions made with purpose and clarity. Each moment spent with focus and deliberation sends out waves that impact not just the individual, but the larger circle of people they touch. The true power of intentional living lies in its ability to inspire and elevate, serving as a beacon that encourages others to live with their own sense of purpose. The force of focused action radiates from those who live intentionally. When each decision aligns with a person's core beliefs and values, their life becomes a testament to what is possible when one commits to a path of genuine, mindful choices. This kind of living sparks curiosity in others. It challenges them to question their own approach and to consider if they are truly making choices that reflect who they are and what they care about. The energy of intentional action, fueled by clarity and resolve, creates an aura that is impossible to ignore. People are naturally drawn to those who live this way, seeking to learn how they maintain such direction and resilience. The legacy of intentional living is not built overnight. It is forged over years of consistent, focused choices that align with a larger mission. It shows in the small, quiet moments, the patience in a conversation, the calmness in a storm, the resolve in a pursuit when the path becomes arduous. Over time, these moments weave a narrative that others can look up to. It becomes a story that serves as a reminder of the power within every individual to act, to decide, and to live according to a higher calling. Living intentionally involves a deep sense of responsibility, not just to oneself, but to the impact one has on others. When one acts from a place of true purpose, their influence extends beyond personal gain. This way of being cultivates trust, because people see the alignment between words and actions. It sets an example that shows integrity is not an abstract idea, but a way of life that strengthens relationships and communities. It brings a sense of shared purpose, sparking growth in those around them and helping them recognize their own potential to effect positive change. The ripple effect created by intentional living carries with it lessons that go far beyond words. The power of consistent, thoughtful action speaks louder than anything that could be taught in a classroom or preached in a sermon. It influences the culture of a team, the character of a family, and the spirit of a community. This ripple effect may start small, with a single action that demonstrates courage or kindness, but it multiplies as others respond, becoming a wave of collective intent that transcends individual effort. In the long term, it has the potential to redefine the way people approach their lives and their roles within society. Purposeful living is contagious. The way one person's actions can shift perspectives and spark new paths in others is part of what makes intentional living so powerful. It inspires others not just to mirror behavior, but to find their own reasons for pursuing meaningful endeavors. It cultivates a culture of proactive, thoughtful choices that challenge passivity and self-doubt. People who are exposed to such examples become emboldened to take risks, pursue their own passions, and commit to a vision that is uniquely theirs. The legacy left by a life lived with purpose is not always tangible. It isn't measured in accolades or accomplishments alone. It is present in the small, subtle changes that occur in others when they are inspired by someone's example. It is in the moments when someone chooses kindness, when they push forward through challenges, or when they lend support without being asked. The lessons passed on are less about specific teachings and more about the way a life can move through the world with strength and humility. The true measure of this legacy is seen in how it encourages the next person to carry forward the same principles of purpose and authenticity. When intentional living becomes a way of life, it generates a force that is felt long after the individual's actions have been completed. It is an ongoing influence, a thread that connects people to each other and to a greater vision. It reinforces the idea that a purposeful life is not just for the few, but for anyone who is willing to engage with life deeply and meaningfully. The legacy is one of profound simplicity and enduring impact, a reminder that every action, no matter how small, can create ripples that inspire and transform. Conclusion. As the journey through these chapters comes to a close, the essence of living a meaningful and impactful life resonates as the central theme. The path outlined is not one of shortcuts or fleeting success, but one defined by deliberate choices, unwavering resolve, and the courage to pursue a purpose greater than oneself. Each chapter has served to remind us that true fulfillment lies not in external accolades or temporary achievements, but in the daily acts of living with intent, embracing resilience, and nurturing connections that matter. The practice of intentional living demands not just moments of inspiration, but a commitment to making choices that align with deeper values. It challenges us to set boundaries, to focus on the pursuits that matter most, and to celebrate progress, no matter how small. It urges us to face setbacks not as failures, but as lessons that forge our path forward. Through persistent action, we create a ripple effect that can touch lives beyond our immediate reach, inspiring those around us to live with a purpose of their own. Every decision made with conscious thought, every action rooted in purpose, contributes to a legacy that extends beyond our lifetime. It is a legacy shaped not by grand gestures, but by the countless quiet moments of perseverance, compassion, and integrity. These moments accumulate, intertwine, and become the foundation of a life that inspires others and leaves an indelible mark on the world. Living with focus and intention shapes not just our destiny, but the destinies of those who come into contact with us. It builds a world where people rise to their greatest potential, where resilience and kindness are the norms, and where the courage to live authentically becomes a shared pursuit. The lessons woven throughout this book are an invitation to embrace a life that does not merely pass by, but leaves a meaningful, lasting impression. As you turn the final page and reflect on the insights and practices laid out in these chapters, remember that the journey does not end here. It continues in each choice, each challenge faced, and each step taken with purpose. This is the path of intentional living, the journey that transforms not just oneself but the world around us. Let your legacy be one of inspiration, defined by a life lived fully, honestly, and with the power of true purpose.